photography, and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Tuesday, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We want to give appreciation to Lincoln Fire and Rescue. Just taking probably a nice little stroll on this beautiful day. We are live at 1040 O Street at the Mecca, sports Mecca of radio and entertainment down here at the Ticket. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill. 2 Lincoln locations, every type of meat and every type of cut. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, we had Strick on the crossover, and I didn't get to ask him, but I wanted to talk about the Austin. Shaquille O'Neal is getting his number 32 retired tonight. Probably going to be on, TNT inside the NBA. So I wanted to ask you, even though Shaq's time in his first team took the league by storm, obviously went to stardom out there with the Lakers, so forth and so on. Then he obviously went to the Heat and obviously won another championship. Do you even remember or view Shaq as a all-time great for Orlando Magic?
And see, that's tough because I wasn't around for Shaq with the Magic, so the first memories I have of him are with the Lakers.
Right.
And even when I think of him as a Laker, it's late career. Like, Shaq for me is the journeyman, now the dominant presence, right? So that's really how I was first introduced to Shaq. But of course, you hear how great he was when he was young, the tandem with Kobe. So you give him the benefit of the doubt. Shaq was good in Orlando, right? That's how he got his way to Los Angeles. The Lakers don't take you, if you're a scrub. So clearly Shaq was good. You know how he looked in gold and purple from his time at LSU. Not that had anything to do with it. But yeah, I mean, I can understand where the Magic are coming from. It's been a pretty good organization, not an elite, cream of the crop organization. So I can understand how they would want to take that look back and say, we had Shaq, we had Penny. And yeah, it's kind of what could have been. But I think Shaq did enough to have a statue there. He did more for Orlando than like Barry Bonds did for Pittsburgh.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I think Shaq did more for Orlando than Orlando actually worked out doing for him.
That's fair.
And I think it's always, and Shaq even said this, is always what if.
Mm-hmm.
What if him and Penny, put their egos aside and kept at it? Because Penny Hardaway was a problem. I mean, for the NBA. I mean, you talk about legit 6'7", can score and do it all. You're thinking like Magic and Kareem as far as the connection they had. Both of them were superior athletically. Shaq was starting to progress as a player to, he had that time that where he ran into that buzzsaw Akeem Olajuwon and got put, took to school. But obviously he got better, from it and learned from it. And he was a young pup there. And then, the apex was when they probably eliminated Chicago, and then Jordan and Chicago came back and got him back. But I think it was at the point in his career, maybe a little bit like Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. You got to keep, pounding at the front door, and then you finally get through. And obviously there was some outside influences that led to Shaq, whether requesting a trade or being available for a trade, ends up at LA, and then he takes off from there. He becomes, he was dominant when he was in Orlando, but he was flat out unstoppable at times. And quite frankly, he was a lot of times the centerpiece for those Lakers teams. Won numerous NBA Finals MVPs, was the guy, just because when you have a guy that's that dominant inside, and Shaq would play great in big games. He would make free throws in big games. That's where he really took off. And then he went to the Miami Heat, did that. And then he did become a little bit of a journeyman, but his star was still ticket. He still was a box office guy. Obviously he was in Cleveland, Phoenix, and Boston as well. They didn't get the Shaq, they got Shaquille. And that's the difference. I mean, I'm being dead serious. And, he was a little overweight and but he took a pounding. I think Orlando is doing him right. I think, Shaq would tell you he wished he could have handled some things different. I'm sure that the guys were, at the Orlando Magic at the time, wish they would have handled him different, especially with that type of player and that type of talent. But ultimately, time heals all. And I think it's a really great moment for Shaq, because he's always kind of handled it with class. Now he's obviously an iconic figure, business venture wise on TV. And so I think it's only right now. Hopefully, if they don't already, get one for Penny Hardaway as well, because they had a great team. It's just that when you're playing against Jordan and all them, and you ran into that really, really good Houston Rockets team in the NBA Finals, and some unfortunate misses at the free throw line, so forth and so on, doesn't mean that you didn't have a great team.
That's just the thing. So I went back and I pulled Shaq's numbers from Orlando. It would have been the first 4 years of his career.
Right.
27 points, 12.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and then 3.5 steals and blocks per game combined. Like, that's incredible, incredible production. That's a big what if for the Magic, for Shaq and Penny. But you got me thinking too, Tim Duncan almost went to Orlando to play with would have been Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady.
Right.
But Doc Rivers, coach at the time, didn't want family members on the plane.
That's
Tim
crazy.
Duncan didn't like that. So those are two huge what if moments.
Well, it's Tim Duncan's wife didn't like it, and Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
And obviously Tim Duncan probably wish he didn't listen to her, because she definitely was out of control. But yeah, it's crazy. Orlando reminds me, and this is way before your time, it's like the modern day version of when I played football with the Arizona Cardinals. Have a lot of really good young players. They end up going to other places and being Hall of Famers. Simeon Rice was at Orlando, or was a Phoenix Cardinal forever. Multiple other players were there, and they go on to stardom. Anquan Bolden was there for quite some time, but really went to Baltimore and did some great things. Some other players as well. And then the Montreal Expos, there was like the farm system of farm systems. And then everybody else will go off and end up being Hall of Famers. Now,
just like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Drafted by the Expos.
Yeah, I know, right? That's it. And, the thing is with that Orlando, I mean, Shaq didn't even hit his prime in 4 years, and he's still trying to figure it out. And his team was trying to figure it out with him. And Orlando was not a winning franchise where you go to the Lakers, they're making moves to win championships.
So if you consider a guy's prime to be his age 27 through 30 seasons, that would have been the 99-2000 season through the 2003-2004 season. That's peak Shaq.
Yeah. And so, that's what Orlando had a taste. And there was probably some jealousy. You're going from one side of the country all the way to the next. Orlando, a little bit small market to the market in the NBA right now, in the franchise. There's more than the blue blood. And a lot of times it was the franchise. Everything the Lakers do, even now, where they're barely above 500, they're the headliners on every network and what they do and what they don't do. So it should be a good night for Orlando. It'd be interesting to see how the rest of the crew, talk about it, because a lot of it will be, how Shaq has probably expressed his feelings, privately. For it. But, the fact that they're doing it, I'm sure Shaq had to okay it, and it's always good to mend those fences. And I'm sure it's a process of Orlando trying to move forward, because Orlando right now has a good young team. You go down to Orlando half-stepping, you're going to get a 20 burger put on you real quick. And it's kind of like Houston. You play them dudes at home, you're in some trouble. So the future is looking a lot brighter than it was before. So it'll be really interesting to see, how things go tonight. So that was a little bit more of a add-on to the NBA talk of Strick's favorite, or his opinion of top 5 point guards of all time. We're going to take a quick break, talk about what and who is possibly realistically able to knock the Chiefs off in the next 2 to 3 years. Because that's where it has to be. Because that's probably about how much longer Andy Reid will be there, and maybe you'll be able to stretch Kelsey for 2 more years. And that defense will start to age out and get contract heavy, meaning multiple guys will have to get paid. So we're going to take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals, located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Thursday, February 15th versus the Vegas Thrill at the Dollar Loan Center in Las Vegas. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 8 p.m. with first serve at 9. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years. And I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly cloudy skies this morning, becoming mainly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a high around 54. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 30. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return for mild weather too. We'll see a high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Ooh, what a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Second segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Again, about 55 degrees outside, man. It's great. So it's always good to have a little, I call this bonus weather here, man. It's either setting you up for failure when that snow comes about March, or we're able to ride this good weather out for the rest of through spring and summer. But before break, I said that I wanted to ask you, Austin, who you thought could possibly dethrone, or who the Chiefs should maybe be wary of. But before that, Big Bird, Shaq didn't make free throws during the regular season, but he majority made a lot when you didn't think he would under pressure. That's why he's one of the best of all time, which is weird, because then you would think that he would be able to do it all the time. But anyways, Austin, I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, who could possibly realistically challenge the Chiefs? And before you answer, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about, to challenge the Chiefs, you have to be at or close to them at 3 levels, right? Let's just say, I'll say franchise. That's owner, leadership,
owner, GM,
right? Decision makers. Then head coach. And that could be name / brand, experience, play calling, all of it, / staff, because you got those Spags in there and all that.
Sure.
And then personnel. And you're not going to be able to match quarterback for quarterback, but you're going to have to make gains other places. So it's equivalent, like you have to, in basketball wise, if you're going up against LeBron, Kobe, or Mike Jordan, you got to be able to be better at, in Jordan's case, at the center position. or at the point guard position or whatever. Who do you think realistically, just the way it stands right now, and this is, counting that Joe Burrow will be able to come back, and they'll continue to improve, or somebody like that, who do you think can realistically challenge the Chiefs?
I'll start with the NFC, just to get them out of the way really quick in case they get to a Super Bowl. San Francisco, we've seen challenge them. I like that organization, like that head coach. We know about the personnel. Detroit, maybe not as sold, but I they beat him week one. I like the fact that they were able to retain their coordinators, keep that band together. Obviously got some growth to do there. I don't feel great about a whole lot of other teams in the NFC.
Right.
So now in the AFC, Baltimore, you don't get the top offense and the top scoring defense in the NFL on accident. I think they have the personnel, but losing the coordinator on defense, McDonald, I think hurts them. If they had continuity, I'd feel better. Cleveland, I think, has the defense to do it and the run game to do it. Quarterback's a huge question. I still have some questions about the front office.
Right.
Don't think it's anyone in the AFC West. Maybe Harbaugh and the Chargers in a few years. Maybe Denver. Not sold on that. Buffalo deserves to be in that conversation. Cincinnati's the biggest challenger, I think, with Burrow.
Done it before,
they've done it before as well. And I'm not just going to say this to throw you a bone. I'm keeping my eye out on Houston because I think there's enough interesting pieces on defense. I think they're getting the front office figured out. D'Amico Ryans is good.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud isn't Patrick Mahomes, but to beat the Chiefs, you're going to have to beat them in a shootout at some point.
Yeah.
I think CJ Stroud is a good enough quarterback, and I think they'll find enough weapons around him that they can keep pace with Kansas City in a couple years in a shootout.
Yeah, I like your picks. I mean, I'll start with the NFC as well, and this is probably the most disappointing thing where, the NFC, when I look at him, it's a good. Actually, got a good text here from my man Joe B, and that was the one team that we probably just glossed over. And I'm gonna put an asterisk by him, and I'm gonna say Green Bay. I want to see about 6 to 8 more games of Love.
Yeah,
Jordan Love. But I like what they're doing. He's a equal opportunist. He's not overfeeding Devontae Adams and then throwing, like Aaron Rodgers did. I like what they're doing. I'm a little wary of them firing their defensive coordinator because I felt like they were pretty good defensive. Now, they're probably going to lose Alexander, who's a true lockdown corner. But I think right now, as it stands, I just want to see a little bit more. But I think actually, when you look at the NFC, the 3 teams that I'm gonna look at, I think San Francisco is gonna get back there. I think Shanahan with John Lynch, they're gonna they're gonna get together and still try to hammer this thing out. I think they're gonna draft well. They're gonna have to fix the right side of the offensive line. They're probably gonna really have to look at a true number 1 receiver or try to find some, get a great free agency pickup that can really flourish. I think they can do that. Still add pieces, and I think when they get the safety 29 Humunga back, that's like a draft pick. And if he comes back to, because he's a all pro safety, San Francisco is my number 1 pick. Number 2, I would say Detroit. I like Detroit. I like it. The young, tough roster. I like their coaching
hungry,
and they have continuity coming back, and their staff is only getting better. I feel like Aaron Glenn got better as a coordinator. The defense got better. I think they'll get better as a defense. It's kind of like Kansas City's defense. You start to saw them make more plays. Then I would probably throw Green Bay in there. Everybody else, I'm not a believer in Dallas. I like what they're doing. I like they're always have been able to score points. I think losing Dan Quinn will hurt, but I just don't like it. Dallas is probably a close 4th that could go up to 2. I just don't like the small defense trying to boom or bust. You got to be able to play D, right? Especially against San Fran and those teams I mentioned. So Dallas is close. I would say also maybe Tampa, because I like what I saw. Another sneaky team here that probably is, I would say, is tied with Green Bay, and I probably would give them a little bit of the edge because of who their head coach is, and he's a past Super Bowl champion, is the Los Angeles Rams. I think Stafford has a plethora of weapons coming back. I think McVay is a better play caller versus when he lost to Patriots and the way he beat Cincinnati. I think that defense, even though Morris is gone, is young and dangerous along with Donald. I think he has been energized by the influx of youth, and they've all played well. And they seem to always draft well.
Mm-hmm.
And or free
with
agent.
the few picks they have.
With the few picks they have, they draft well, and then also they street free agent well. They have a dangerous offense. They got 2 number 1 receivers. Higbee's a really good tight end. Johnson's he would have led the NFL in rushing. I think he might have as well, and he missed
Kyron Williams.
Excuse me. And he's like a gem, because I think he was 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick, and their offensive line is always pretty good because McVay wants to pound it. So I think if they can continue to do what they're doing, plus being a free agent going to LA is probably not that hard of a choice. No. So those are my teams. But just to recap it, I would say San Fran, Detroit are head and shoulders above, everybody else. And I'd almost tell you this. I still think Detroit is the better team. I really do. I think Detroit has a better offense. And I'm sitting up here telling you this, in San Francisco's offense is pretty good. Here's why I think Detroit's offense is better. Because they're more consistent. They're explosive. Reynolds had a bad day I talked to guys down at the Super Bowl. They were, to every big-time media member, they were like, if Reynolds catches one of those passes, the game's over.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're not worried about Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell will get better at it, at the, going it for and forth. So I put Detroit up there. I think Detroit mentally might be tougher than San Francisco.
They just hadn't been there before, but now they have.
But I think they're tougher. I think Detroit's guys are tougher mentally. I think San Francisco had way more experience.
Shanahan made that comment about we have 1,000 scars.
Yes.
Did that stand out to you?
That stood out to me. When Bosa says, I let my teammates down, I wish I did more. Those are the 3 plays I'm talking about. Right?
Yeah, you brought that up on Friday. So
that lets me know you hadn't learned from your past. You're still doing the same thing. You're worried about yourself, dude. Them dudes in Kansas City worry about winning championships. That's the difference. Detroit's going to be on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan Campbell's going to be put. I mean, they are set up. And then I think all the other teams flow in there. And, Baker Mayfield. Hey, big shout out to Baker Mayfield. You want to hear a funny story about Baker Mayfield? Do you?
I need to.
Okay, so when the Super Bowl was up in Minnesota, I was up there doing appearances. So I drove up there and met him. But Steve Foster called his game. So Steve Foster is like a mentor of mine. So we took a picture with Baker Mayfield. He goes number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see him down in the Super Bowl. And he remembered me, and he knew Steve. I said, hey, dude, every time we take a picture, you get paid. So you better do it. You about to get paid. And I said, you know what? I better have some tickets. And he was like, if I get paid what I want to get paid, you in there. It's the funniest thing ever. And I think his wife is from Lincoln or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah. She's from Lincoln. Has some Nebraska ties. So on the Kansas City AFC side, Kansas City is obviously number 1. I think Baltimore is on the cusp of challenging them. I think Baltimore is going to have a great offseason, Austin. I think they're going to get OBJ out of there. I think they're going to continue to get better at the receiver. They're going to get a big body receiver. Andrews is going to get healthy. Likely is stepped up. So I think he's great. I think they're the closest challenger because, again, the 3 levels, right? Ownership, GM, head coach, staff. Even though they lost McDonald, I wasn't too impressed with McDonald, but so what? I think they'll be able to, obviously continue along the process. That's their closest challenger. Then I think Buffalo will always be there because of continuity at all those 3 levels. Buffalo is inching towards Baltimore because I feel like Josh Allen is the closest thing to Patrick Mahomes. He's played excellent in those games. He hasn't had help. The Stephon Diggs situation is going to be huge. Big game Gabe Davis is a free agent. You can't overpay for a guy like that because, you saw that against Philly, right? When, you're supposed to run the corner or whatever it was, right? So there's a little bit that if Josh Allen can focus in a little bit and be inspired by it instead of worried about what the comments are saying, what you can't do, look at what Mahomes is doing.
Mm-hmm.
He is the closest challenger because he's that X factor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's played well. They got to get better defensively. They got to get younger and better, or a mix. They got to get better.
Well, that's what Kansas City did. Got younger and better on defense at the same time.
And you got to do that. So Buffalo's there only because of Josh Allen. They go down the list if Stephon Diggs situations continue to linger. And I don't know how it's going to he's going to be back. He doesn't really want to be there. He's a huge cap hit. If you could trade him for a ascending receiver and get a salary cap relief or some way to kind of, circumvent the system,
get creative.
Right. I like your pick of Cleveland. The thing that hurts them is the quarterback position.
Yes.
I haven't seen a glimpse of Deshaun Watson with better weapons like he was in Houston. And that's his own doing. I don't know. I would say Cincinnati is always, if Joe Burrow's healthy, they're right there and maybe ahead of Baltimore and Buffalo.
Because they've done it.
They've done it. Their defensive coordinator is great against Kansas City, and Joe Burrow knows how to play championship winning football. He's done it millions of times, and he can match. He can match throw for throw, and they got Mixon. They got a good offensive line or better.
If I can throw those out here really quick to you, we had a text during Old School. Where would Derrick Henry go? I think Cincinnati would be fascinating. I don't know if they want to pay that much, but Cincinnati with a healthy Joe Burrow and Derrick Henry is really scary to Kansas City.
Yeah. Joe Mixon's good though, dude. He's a little bit younger. It's almost like you kind of go a chance to get a haul. Derrick Henry's great this year too. It's just kind of what you want to do. But they get him, boy. Because they always said Derrick Henry is going to Dallas. If I'm Derrick Henry, I'm not sure if I want to go to Dallas. I like Cincinnati. The AFC. You fit in well there. Be interested. I think Joe Mixon can probably demand more money out on the market. So then Derrick Henry might get in there like a 2-year deal, 1 year prove it, hit another, 2-year deal, and then kind of go from there. That would be a great pickup. Phenomenal. But you could see somebody like Najee Harris going there too on a little bit of a under the radar cheaper deal, right? Because he's like, I think Najee Harris from Pittsburgh is a little too heavy. He's up 245, 250. He needs to get down to about 225, 230. He gives you the power. He gives you the ability to catch out of the backfield as well. But Joe Mixon is a dude. He's for real. I like Houston. I think they're probably a year or two away. So when we're talking about the next 2 or 3 years, year 2 and 3. I think Houston needs to continue to get in the playoffs. They need to dominate that AFC South. Sorry, Austin. They need to dominate AFC South. They need to get a little bit better across the offensive line. They just need to get more experience, especially at the second level in the safety position. And I think they're well on their way. You got a quarterback, get another really good receiver. Tank Dell comes back. So then you get 3 receivers. And then you're with Collins, and then you get a free agent or draft one, Tank Dell, and you try to bring Schultz back as a tight end. That's your safety net. Houston's there, and then they got to get better inside on the offensive line. Then I think they're ready to go because you got ownership. I'm assuming Cesario is good as a GM. He's did a about face because he came in there and people wanted to run him out. We got him, and then along with D'Amico Ryans, I love the staff too as well. So I think those are, and then there always will be somebody that's like comes up out of the depths. Miami's always going to be Miami. I want to see more physicality and more from Tua. The ability to go to conditions and play football. He just looked like he was ready. He didn't look like he wanted to play.
Honolulu on 3.
Right. He was Cancun on 3.
Jacksonville feels like they had their shot to me, Jay.
They squandered it this year. I don't know how you just go, how you didn't like take over the AFC South after that comeback victory against the Chargers. Essentially, Brandon Staley got fired off of, and you look pathetic
all year.
Never got out of like second gear. So then that makes you question old Goldilocks, Trevor Lawrence. Denver, they'll be competitive. Raiders will be competitive. Nothing. And Aaron Rodgers, the Jets, he's essentially destroyed that. I mean, he's done what he needs to do. They're horrible. They're not even a challenge. So then you think in New England and the Chargers. I think the Chargers will be very competitive, but nowhere near to Super Bowl challenge in the next 2 or 3 years. So those are the teams we think about possibly could knock off Mr. Mahomes. Should be calling him Mr. Disney now. He's down there so much. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be quick. The offseason starts actually after tomorrow, and everybody will be pointing towards the combine and then the draft. And then next thing you know, we'll be anointing the next best teams going from there. So we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we have some really big savings for you right now. Our new crossover sale is underway. New Terrains, Equinoxes, and Trailblazers starting at $23,290. That's right, $23,290. Also, we've continued our huge Sierra and Silverado truck sale with over $10,000 off new pickups. You heard right, over $10,000 off list. Coppell truly has a small town feel with big city deals. We're right down 144th Street or at CoppellCars.com. Stock numbers G260980 and C119824.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Quick segment. We're up against the clock. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School, live in effect, 1040 O Street. Again, another day, Austin, above 50, no wind. I don't know what's going on because you know what will happen? We'll all get together as like a station crew and say, okay, let's go play like 3 holes of golf, and it'll be 70-mile-an-hour winds out there.
Right.
No, but it's great, though, to have this type of weather here. You know, to be honest with you, we were down in Vegas for, you know, the ticket for the Super Bowl. The first 2 days, dude, it was like 40 degrees, rainy, and it was horrible.
In Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
It's not we signed up to go to Vegas for.
It was cold. Didn't watch it be like 60 next week. I got to see my mom a couple of times, and she was like, you know, we said she wouldn't, come out of the house until like, in the afternoon, wasn't warmed up because it was so cold. So according to her, but
Vegas forecast, by the way, 60 today, 61 tomorrow, 62, 64, 64, 67, 65, 63.
See? Yeah, way better than 40s. But I wanted to ask you real quick. We've been hearing it obviously, look, when you win as much as Patrick Mahomes has won, this is a dynasty. A dynasty doesn't always have to be winning Super Bowls. Consistently in the AFC Championship, 3 Super Bowls, 3 out of 4. Obviously, Brady has 7. He's the GOAT right now. Do you think it's too early to talk about Patrick Mahomes as the greatest of all time?
It absolutely is, but only because of Mike Trout in baseball. That's a guy that I thought was going to be the greatest player of all time. 6'5", 240, built like a linebacker, runs like, a shortstop,
right,
playing center field, power, speed, arm, everything, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have the postseason, but you can say it's harder to do in baseball, right? Because it's 9 guys. You only, get up once every 9 at bats. Patrick Mahomes will not surpass Tom Brady. Right. I feel really confident in saying that, at least not for your generation, probably even my generation. Where the conversation might start to shift is with the generation after me, where Tom Brady's in the history books, right?
Yeah,
they respect
it's like too
him.
old. I don't know who he is. Yeah, it's kind of like Johnny Unitas. Like, right. I never got to see him play, but everybody's like, this dude was Peyton Manning before. He played for the Colts. Like, Johnny Unitas was the modern day Peyton Manning. So it'll probably be like that, yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes won't surpass Tom Brady in our lifetimes.
Sure.
He'll pick up some steam later on, but I don't think it's too early for us to start having that conversation.
Right.
He's on pace statistically and with the rings, right? Yeah. So he's on pace, and that's all you can ask of anyone that wants to challenge the GOAT throne. Whether or not he gets there, like I said, isn't for us to decide, I don't think. But he's at least on pace, and that's worth acknowledging.
Yeah, I think he, to be honest with you, I think he might be on ahead of the pace, and definitely on pace, maybe ahead of the pace. I think right now everything that he does is going to get overblown, and I think people so quickly just forgot the 20-year run of the Patriots. Not 5-6 years, 20-year run of Tom Brady and the Patriots.
You saw that up close and personal.
Trust me, too many times. And so I think Patrick Mahomes is getting there. I think, look, the right behind Brady is Joe Montana for me. And Patrick Mahomes would, would have to get 5 to surpass him. If you're 4, I'm still going with Joe Montana. But I think if anybody can do it, I think it's Patrick Mahomes. I think he is the perfect storm of great franchise, great head coach, Hall of Fame receiver, or tight end, excuse me. And Tyreek Hill is a dominant force, as we've seen.
Is he a Hall of Famer someday?
But if he keeps on the pace, then why wouldn't he? Just stat-wise, he'll be in there. He's got the Super Bowl ring, so there's no reason why he won't eventually get in. So you got to think potentially another Hall of Famer, there for him. But the thing with Patrick Mahomes, he's the most talented quarterback to come in the last 20 to 40 years. He has the best head on his shoulder for a superstar, iconic athlete in quite some time. He has the work ethic of a mid-round draft choice, something to prove. And he loves to compete. And he's got a great team around him. And then you got guys drafting in order, trying to win every time. So it's going to be tough. Now, he hasn't faced an injury yet. He hasn't faced injuries around him. And injuries could be looked at as Andy Reid retires. I look at that like an injury. Travis Kelce decides to retire. Same thing. He hasn't faced any true adversity yet. Losing in the AFC Championship or Super Bowl is not adversity. No. That's just part of the game, buddy. So, anyways, good first hour. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting free workout for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who want the most out of their workout. Anarchy can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, 5 o'clock hour, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Old School brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop. 2 locations here in Lincoln, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, every type of meat and every type of cut. Austin, you gave me a quick nugget there in between the hour break here that the NCAA is inching towards approving helmet communication for everybody. Is it FBS level, FCS, or all colleges?
Let's see here. The NCAA Football Rules Committee meets at the end of February and could come out of that meeting with proposals to allow permissive use of both pieces of tech, as in the helmet communication and the sideline tablets, which I think would be huge as well, right? Not just in the headset, but actually the video tablet to go over during the game. Seems like this would be an FBS-wide proposal.
That's pretty good. I mean, and then the what I think it is, it's like the NFL uses it. You want to be kind of closest to it. Is time for it. You don't have to have all the, the funny pictures and all that. The 18 million people doing the signs and stuff. Actually, they can really focus on coaching and in-game management. It would ideally would eliminate any sign stealing. But I think those little buggers up in Michigan will probably find a way to tap into your thing. I'm sure they'll find a way around that as well. But I think it's time, man. I think it'd be good, and I think it'll. I don't think it will eventually get down to high school level because I think it just comes down to a financial thing.
Yeah.
But I think in college is good. I think, and you asked me how does that bode for Nebraska's quarterback situation? Obviously, in particular, when you have 2 freshmen coming back or coming in and Dylan Raiola and Daniel Kalen. I think it ups the learning curve for them. It speeds it up. Because I think I think they'll probably put a time on there. So whoever the play caller is or play callers are, and this is good for defense as well. So that means you have a freshman linebacker. I could say, hey, Austin, we're going to run Hawk Open 7. We'll switch on Z motion. Be alert for, going from a TE stunt to a Raider stunt, right? That took about 5 seconds. Okay. Well, then I could say, hey, Austin, you're in take a shot. Beware, take a shot. I could give you a whole bunch of quote unquote hashtags that get in your brain that you relay to the defense. Right. So if you don't have experience as a player, I'm giving you experience, hopefully as a coordinator, coach, or whoever's talking to you.
So 2 things I'd bring up. First of all, there is the timer in the NFL, right? It cuts off at 20, 25?
Whatever it is, yeah. And you've seen Sean McVay always, they do it. So if you get really, really in tune with a play call, I had this with Coach McBride, had it with Reggie Herring, had it with, quite frankly, all the coordinators, that if you know what they're thinking, they can cut down the language, because I know what that last add-on is. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times if you have a really good veteran defensive line and you're in tune in there in the defensive game planning, you'll have like 4 or 5 stunts based on down and distance and all this in whatever front you're running. So that will allow for more communication and more teaching. And so I think it's a good thing. It'll be really interesting if they push it through this year or they push it through and it doesn't go into effect till 2025.
And then it is just one-way communication, booth to player, not back and forth conversation.
Yeah, it's just one way. Yeah, and that's fine.
The other thing that I think is interesting then is quarterbacks, obviously you're going to wear I assume it's still going to be a green dot like it is in the NFL. Get to know your offensive coordinator, get to know each other, vice versa, like become each other's best friends, but not really. But then on the defense, it's mostly middle linebackers, right? Are there
Generally,
exceptions?
There are exceptions. If you always want to have a backup guy, you could have a guy that's a kind of hybrid. So maybe you have a person that in Nebraska's defense, like that plays Jack, or say like a Buddha, or like a Gifford, right? Because he can play multiple positions, safety, rover. He can play linebacker on third down. So yeah, I mean, I think he could wear one. I think you're able to designate 2, and then you have emergency one just in case somebody gets knocked out or something like that. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing, man. It'd be great. I think it'd be really good, and it'd be really, interesting. And I think it should, make offenses more efficient. So there'd be no excuses for all these players out there say you don't know the playbook. Because hearing it and then you can actually just repeat it as it's coming in. So also to get to some text before we get to this way too early top 25. Mississippi Mud Dog says, how are they head and shoulders better than Green Bay? Packers beat the Lions straight up this year on Thanksgiving and took the Niners to the brink before losing a tight game that they actually outplayed them in. You're 100% right, but I like Detroit's quarterback a little bit more, have more continuity as far as their coaching staff, because Green Bay had not only fired Barry, who was their defensive coordinator, or have already said that they're not going to bring Jair Alexander back, who is a true lockdown corner. Now they played him and beat him this year straight up. Green Bay is right there, but I like Detroit better. I think they're head and shoulders better than Green Bay. Now I'm talking about for the whole season, I mean, if that's the case, Detroit's better than Kansas City. We know that isn't the case. So, Sanderson says Baker's wife, Emily, graduated from UNL.
Hey, there
I was right.
Good call.
Axel Foley he says he'll be in 1-2-3 Cancun in 2 weeks. You'll see a lot of NFL players on there. Unknown caller 0034 says trading Tyreek was adversity. No, it wasn't, because you still had Travis Kelce and you had a lot of guys that outplayed their 1-year contracts. Juju Smith-Schuster, MVS, who was awesome with Shannon Sharp, already bought the Super Bowl chain, said we standing on business. I got it, man. And then yes, Dalton, I will never forget that the Broncos kicked Casey's butt, and so did the Raiders. Both of them were at the crib watching the same place I was. Unknown caller 4979 says, Jay, serious question. What do you think about big time college football programs having B and C teams to provide more player development through game experience? What's B and C?
I don't know.
Unknown caller, what is B and C, man? B and C teams.
All I'm seeing is Big Northern Conference, and that's a high school conference.
Well, he's talking about provide more player development through game experience. We'll wait to see what he says. But anyways, they have the way too early top 25, right? So the two-time what was the two-time defending national champion, probably had a good argument to be in the Final Four, but weren't, is the Georgia Bulldogs coming in at number 1, rightfully so. You got a national championship level quarterback coming back, and your plethora of talent. They attacked the transfer portal and a number 1 recruiting class as well. They're number 1. Number 2 is Ohio State. Went from the depths of hell, going to fire the coach, to somehow scramble, rubbing nickels together, and got $13 million and has a $13 million roster. And they got the number 1 quarterback this year, or one of the number 1 quarterbacks, and they got Will Howard, and they got the running back from Mississippi or Ole Miss, Quayshawn Junkins, to go along with Trayvon Henderson. They are going to be for real. Ibuka come back too. You got a true number 1. Number 3, oddly enough, after losing Bo Nix, but they got Dylan Gabriel to come in. He's a plug and play. I still don't think he would be as good as Bo Nix. You're seeing Bo Nix in that system after 2 years. Oregon Ducks, number 3. I don't have a problem with it. I think they'll be good. I just don't know if they're ready defensively yet.
They lose a couple offensive linemen too.
Yeah,
that's a big part of their success. So Oregon's going to be really
and
good.
Their receiver.
I think Ohio State Oregon is your Big Ten championship game.
Yeah,
but I don't know if Oregon's number 3 in the country good.
I think the team that's ranked below them should be number 3, and that's Texas.
Yeah,
and I could even argue with you that Texas should be number 2 based on what they did last year versus what Ohio State did.
Well, they got coming back.
Yeah, but based on what they did, and they're losing a lot. They're losing some defensive linemen, but they plug and play and got some other guys. Number 5, which is probably the most interesting one. Notre Dame fighting Nick Sanders. They got Riley Leonard. They're bringing back their offensive coordinator, but I don't know about that, man. I don't know if Marcus Freeman has he's not seasoned enough. Number 5 is big. That's way high for me.
Think about who you're skipping over there.
Yeah,
Ole Miss,
and
Lane,
Mizzou, stand on business.
Alabama's got some talent. I still care to see how that goes, but to put Notre Dame above them sight unseen, I'm not sure about that.
Here's another one I want to ask you about who's ranked number 8 is Penn State. You're getting Drew Aller back, 2 really good running backs. Tyler Warren. Then you brought Tom Allen to come in as your defensive coordinator. I don't know about James Franklin, man.
James Franklin, I feel like, should have hit the eject button a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He's been really good, but I think he could be a little more comfortable if he had, pieced out to USC or something a couple of years ago. Penn State, I want to pick and believe in, but they always let me down. I like Aller. I think he's good. I like that run game. Losing Fashanu is going to be, a big gap for them to fill on the left side of that offensive line. Julian Fleming, we'll see. I mean, I know his pedigree. Nebraska fans were excited about him. Penn State should be a top 10 team. Like, there's no reason for Penn State not to be in the new 12-team playoff. But right now, they're, 3rd in the Big Ten, 4th in the Big Ten, depending on how you view Michigan, and that's probably fringe playoff.
Yeah, I think that's too high for them. And also right now, I think what is a little too high is Alabama. He lost a lot. Caleb Downs and a number of guys have left. DeBoer came in, did a good job of trying to hold it together. But you lost Caden Proctor as well. Number 1 offensive tackle going back to Iowa.
Can we talk about that for a second? Caden Proctor said Iowa reached out to him during the year to check in on him, make sure he's doing okay.
They just had to make sure he's all right.
That's called tampering.
They asked if
get him out of Iowa City.
They just had to make sure that he got their sweet corn bushel that they sent down. Hey man, sometimes saying less is saying as much as you need to say. And I know he's excited. Probably no way to prove it, but yes, that's definitely tampering.
It had to be Brian Ferentz, right? Since he's on his way out.
Probably. Yeah, let me leave you with a parting gift. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Dad. I'll see you at Thanksgiving though.
Yeah, right.
And but they lost a lot down there in Bama. I don't think it's going to be rinse and repeat. With them. I don't think it's going to be turnkey. I think Kalen DeBoer, even though I think he's a good coach, is going to get a quick transition to the SEC, and Alabama's going to take a little bit of a downturn, and then they'll be able to pop it back up. Number 10, with the Fighting DPs, Utah Utes. This is interesting. Cameron Rising is coming back for like his 25th year. I like them. They're tough. This is great. This is great for them. I think they are a sneaky good playoff team that gets in. I think last year being 8-5 was definitely just replicated because of Rising getting hurt so quick. They were expecting them to come back, didn't, held them back, got them back for another year. Utah is going to be tough, and they're going to be good. 11 is Arizona Wildcats. No, Jetfish is gone. They're definitely going to be outside the top 25. He had that program rolling, but he's up in Washington. 12, this is the surprise right here. I know Jaden Daniels is leaving. and I know Neighbors is leaving, and Thomas, the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Kelly, LSU Tigers. That's crazy. If I'm down in the LSU, I'm thinking I should beat Penn State number 8.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Brian Kelly, if you're at LSU, you should be able to recruit to not rebuild. You're supposed to be reloading.
Mm-hmm.
That's way too low for them, even though it's a way too early preseason.
Yeah, that
lets you know there's something deeper than that. They don't believe. It lets you know coming out of there, they don't believe in Brian Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 13, even though I don't like Michigan, I respect them, defending national champions. Losing, I was Blake Corum, JJ McCarthy, and I was losing Jim Harbaugh with their whole defensive staff. I think pretty much. I still think Michigan has winning DNA in their building with Sharon Moore. I think they'll do better. I think they'll sneak into they'll potentially be in the college football playoffs. I think they will. I think they will, because I think he's a really good play caller. I think he's going to be able to play to, their strengths. And really, you got to think the teams below them or ahead of them. You got to think, I don't believe in Arizona. This is just if it stays here. I don't necessarily believe in Penn State, and I don't believe in Alabama. So if they're number 13 right now, they're already in the 12. And right below them is Oklahoma. It's a prove-it year, right, for Venables. Quarterback left, right? Now you're going over. Now you're turning it over to Jackson Arnold, a former 5-star quarterback, but he still is a freshman. So that's going to be Florida State, full scope, right? So you just think who can come up the back end? Tennessee, maybe, right? We'll see if that Nico Amaliva is good, right? But he only threw 19 passes, but he looks pretty good. Oklahoma State is always just Oklahoma State. They'll be like 8-0 and then end up 8-4. But they'll probably beat Oklahoma in Bedlam.
They did the reverse of that this year. They did the reverse of that.
They did.
Losing to South Alabama, losing their first Big 12 game, and then on the come up. I'm not going to lie. I'm higher on Oklahoma State than I am on Oklahoma.
Yes, just because of continuity. And then also Oklahoma State has a legit running back in Ollie Gordon II. He's a dude.
Legit
dude. And then you got teams like NC State Wolfpack. They lost Tim Beck, their play caller. He's down in Coastal Carolina. Clemson.
But they got Coastal's quarterback.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
They got Clemson at 19. Dabo. Listen, here's the funny thing. Do you know how many calls he's going to get from like
Tyler in Spartansburg,
Billy John in
Conway,
South Carolina? You know what I mean? Bobby Joe from Myrtle Beach. I mean, he's gonna get the night. Dude, you're 19th. You're down here with like Nebraska, Kansas State. Kansas State's at 20. Louisville, which I think is a little bit low for Louisville. I think Louisville is going to be on the uptick. Disappointing ending. They got to figure out how to play against good competition. But I think Louisville will. The one team that's surprising here, Lance Leopold and the Kansas Jayhawks. They are going to make some noise in the Big 12. They're number 22. 23 is Kentucky. That's right about where Kentucky is.
I like Kansas's schedule.
I do too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, go ahead. So, go off of Kansas' schedule.
Lindenwood, whatever.
Dub.
At Illinois. UNLV, who won 9 games last year, but that game's in, I assume it'll be in Arrowhead because Kansas' stadium is getting renovated. You go to West Virginia, host TCU, to Arizona State, host Houston, at Kansas State, host Iowa State, at BYU, host Colorado, at Baylor. That's manageable.
Yeah, if we get off to a good start, we're thinking Big 12 championship.
Beat UNLV and it's in your sights.
Yeah. And they picked up some interior offensive line. They picked up Tiffin University, Shane Bumgarner, who won the Remington Award as top center at Division II, and Daryl Simmons, who started 38 games at Iowa State. So they went and fixed some problems that they needed. That's letting you know Lance Leopold is what he's going to do. Devin Neal, get ready. He had 1,300 yards last year. We're trying to have close to 1,900 yards. He's trying to bring back old school football, right? He's going to be the outlier in Big 12. And then you got Kentucky, right? That's just kind of where they are. They were 7-6 last year. I think they'll be better this year, but that's right where they're at. They've had a decent year as far as the transfer portal goes, right? They picked up Georgia's backup quarterback, Brock Vandegrift, and then they picked up Georgia linebacker and Jamon Johnson, who's a NFL linebacker.
Mhm.
He just got hurt. He broke his forearm.
Mhm.
And then they picked up Christian Story, who is a really good corner from Alabama. This is the team right here, and I'm going to give some love because it's the family pick. Them Hurricanes.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, Jay. I knew it was coming.
They were good last year. They just had to figure out how to win. Mario Cristobal last second. I don't know what he was thinking. that Georgia Tech loss, ultimate trick off. They were 7-6. You got to think they should have been 8-5, and they also tricked off the game at North Carolina, I think.
Yep.
So once they learn how to win, they bring almost everybody back. They got Cam Ward, who's a difference maker at quarterback. They got the defensive lineman from Marshall, who was the number one interior kind of pass rush guy. They got a middle and Marlon Cook from Middle Tennessee. So they're nice pickups. And then they got a safety help because they got 2 NFL safeties. One is going to get drafted in the first round. Other one is probably in round 2 or 3. So you got 2 NFL safeties you got to replace. And then they had a really good number 6 overall recruiting class to go with a really good recruiting class prior years as well. So then number 5, Texas A&M. Who knows? This is where I would actually maybe put a team like Iowa.
I was going to throw Iowa out there depending on what you think about Fickle in Wisconsin.
Who do you trust more?
Neither. Probably Iowa.
I hate to say it, right? You get Proctor back. You're bringing all your other starters back on the offensive line. You get McNamara back, Lachey coming back. I don't know if Eric All is coming back or can come back.
Williams will be healthy in the backfield.
You're going right back to Iowa. We're going to ground and pound.
Higgins.
Yeah. I mean, they're going. And Proctor's a big dude, man.
6'7", like 350
and
something.
Ain't not an ounce of fat. Yeah, they're going to be some problems. They're going to be some problems. So, I don't know. And then a couple texts here. The IQ crew says, "Come on, Jay. We're a few years removed from K-12 going full Zoom for learning, but would not surprise me to see the hardest technology trickle down to high school level." I don't know what that means.
Oh, we're talking about the headsets for football.
I'll be all for it, but
why not?
Right, but it's expensive,
and there's a lot more high schools than colleges. Right. There's a lot more colleges than pro teams.
It's not that they shouldn't have it.
Yeah,
they can't afford it.
Right,
and it's no different. Like with a big reason why they don't have the 35-second shot clock in other classes in Nebraska. Some of these schools just don't have it in their budgets. Let me see. Unknown texter 4979 says, like they have in middle school and high school, like any ANC team, seem like some of the college players don't get the game experience until they grow into the game.
I think he's trying to say like ABC, the different levels. Varsity, JV, reserve.
Yeah. Oh, this is what he was up there saying before. What do you think about big time colleges having ABC teams? You know what? I think they should have some sort of like regional freshman football or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where you can get kind of some more experience. I think that'd be great.
Go play Kansas State, Iowa State, Kansas, their freshman teams. Just get games.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. Sanderson is on board with me about LSU. They should be top 10, maybe top 5. That's his long shot to pick to win it all next year. Doubtful. Brian Kelly he's trick off nation. Dalton, never forget the Broncos. Yes, I know, Dalton. Yes, I know. We all know this. Pretty much every high school team already has instant replay on tablets on the sideline. Crazy is taking the NCAA. That is true. You know, one of the things that when me and Nick call high school games, there's some schools, especially when they come in Omaha, they have like big TVs that I would like to put in my garage and drink beers and watch the game. And they have like remotes and you're going over it in tablets. It's like the NFL. You got to think, when I was in the NFL, Austin, this is one time, you know, in the next segment, I'm going to talk about Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, and then we'll get into some other stuff. But we used to get printouts. So it was like Polaroids, right? So it'd be like this long. And so you'd have to look at, okay, this is how the play started. This was this. It was like still shots. That was the first time me and a teammate got in a fight on the sideline. I love him to death, Sean Price. My man, Sean Price. He's had I think triple bypass, but it was great. He was a defensive lineman, had a torn ACL, never got it fixed, and then he had somehow he lost it. I think he lost a bet probably somewhere at a pool hall, and didn't have one of his fingers up. But I love Sean Price. He introduced me to Pedialyte and how to get rehydrated after either a hard workout or a long night out. But I'm gonna talk about Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, and then we're gonna talk about Husker men's and women's basketball. Then we're gonna put a bow on this Tuesday on Valentine's Day Eve. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Thursday, February 15th versus the Vegas Thrill at the Dollar Loan Center in Las Vegas. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 8 p.m. with first serve at 9. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Blecker and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Blecker and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, Southwest Iowa, and northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting free workout for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who want the most out of their workout. Anarchy can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we have some really big savings for you right now. Our new crossover sale is underway. New Terrains, Equinoxes, and Trailblazers starting at $23,290. That's right, $23,290. Also, we've continued our huge Sierra and Silverado truck sale with over 10,000 off new pickups. You heard right, over 10,000 off list. Koppel truly has a small town feel with big city deals. We're right down 144th Street or at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G260980 and C119824.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Acres is bringing you the nation's largest indoor display of John Deere equipment and technology. Acres 2024 Ag and Turf Expo showcases everything from tillage and planting to application and harvest. We'll also offer the latest industry insights from ag professionals across the state. Join us at the Sandhills Global Event Center March 6th and 7th or Fauner Park March 21st and 22nd. Go to acres.com/expo24 for a complete schedule of speakers and activities.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, we are back in the building. Sanderson went off the text line. It says, have you guys touched on Jordy Ball yet? I generally don't talk about injuries. It's just unfortunate. Obviously, it's obviously known that she'll be out for the rest of the season. All I can say, it sucks just because of, look, it's unfortunate. I think it was the first game of the year. There's been a lot of excitement around the softball program, rightfully so. Number one, before even Jordy Ball decided to come home or to come back to Nebraska, it was a pretty well-established team that was, on the uptick as well. And her success at Oklahoma was just adding to it. It's just very unfortunate. But you know what? She'll be able to just, rehab, still be a great teammate. I think also what she brings is leadership and experience will not go to the wayside. And she'll try to be as much of a big factor as possible. But it just is unfortunate just because you never kind of got out of the gates. And that's just a sucky part about sports. I think from what I can gather that the turf or the dirt is a little bit different down where they were playing. Never think that would probably play a factor, but it's just unfortunate, and it sucks.
Things happen. It's sports. There's always that risk out there. Of course, it had to be Jordy Ball, right? Not that we wish it on anyone on the team.
Right.
But don't get me wrong. It sucks. It stinks.
Yeah.
You got, 25 other 30 players on the
Step
roster?
Up, yeah, and she can help out the best way she can. And the biggest thing now, her season is just, how aggressive and efficient she can attack her rehab and then also be involved in the team as much as possible from an experience standpoint and a semi, coach on the field. I mean, her experience of playing club softball and being in high pressure situations will only bode well for younger players on the roster, whether they're pitching or in the field or in the batter's box. So, it won't go to the wayside. So, also interesting here, Austin, not to be a bearer of bad news, but the trial date for Pat Fitzgerald against the Northwestern is set for dates of April 7th through the 18th. So it's going to be long.
It's going to be long. And you saw his lawyers were pushing for December.
Yeah.
So that's a win for Northwestern to get it pushed back that far.
Yeah. So, I mean, and they're right. Pat Fitzgerald can't get a job until this is rectified. Ideally, you'd like to see them come to some sort of conclusion, but not so fast. Also, Bill O'Brien is putting together his assistants, and he might be bringing back Tim Lewis to be their defensive coordinator. Tim Lewis was a defensive coordinator when I was with the Giants. Good dude, good man though too. More importantly, played in the NFL himself, coached at various places, been successful all the time. Also, the Pac-12 is looking to fire their commissioner, George Kliavkoff, who came to the Pac-12 as their commissioner from the hotel industry to bring some sort of Vegas-like atmosphere, take it to the next level. Balked at that one deal, didn't work out, sign of death, probably was going to happen. And they moved, I think, the offices to Vegas, right? Yeah, probably all around. You cost us money and cost us our conference. You got to go. Yeah. Let me see. Also, Kyle Shanahan's defending the controversial Super Bowl. No, you can't defend that. You just made a mistake, dude. You never give Patrick, because you'd rather Patrick Mahomes have to settle for a field goal or get stopped versus him having 4 downs against him. It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's Andy Reid. He's like a kid in a candy store, so it just didn't work out. You just got beat and you got outclassed and you got outcoached, and it just happened that you weren't the first and you ain't going to be the last. So, but obviously the controversy, besides all the other stupid stuff, is, what Travis Kelce is doing in his personal life, which I don't care less.
Who cares?
Was him and Andy Reid. Now, number one, if you ever seen Andy Reid, I saw him up close and personal. My man's balance is suspect at best. He's a big dude, right? He was an offensive lineman at BYU, loves his hamburgers. The joy that he was talking about, corn dog, that was one of his plays. And he's like, you got to put some money. My man gets hype about food. And I love talking food, and I love food as well, right? The intensity on a sideline. Well, first of all, I never played in the Super Bowl. I've seen intense moments when we're in college playing for national championships. I've been in plenty of intense moments on the NFL. I've seen a Hall of Famer get folded up in a locker. I'd never seen anything like that before. It happens all the time. I know it's Travis Kelce, and he's got a big personality, big mouth or whatever, and it wasn't, the optics were good. Look, my mom even texted me about it. She loves, anything that's on the news, she's gonna say it. So probably not the best look. I don't know if I've never like approached a coach like that. You like that. Now I do have a story that Andy Reid and Travis Kelce are tight because Andy Reid bumped him when he threw the helmet. Like, they just do that. That's just the way it is. Like, come on, dude. Like, he's been there forever. He's pretty much taken him from a little baby as a rookie. So they know each other in and out, and they know how to motivate each other. Now, I'm sure Travis Kelce would like to have it back, but it was intense, and he was open, and he was definitely feeling it. I'm telling you, Kansas City, if they will not tell you this, they backdoored their way into a world championship. I'm telling you, because they saw blood in the water. They knew they were mentally tougher, and it's just kind of like, oh, you guys haven't taken advantage of us not being very good. All right, we'll turn it up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing business, right? So Reggie Herring, I talk about Reggie Herring. He was in my book. I love Reggie Herring. He just retired. He was a great linebacker at Florida State. He was roommates with, I think it's Ron Simmons, who was a famous wrestler. I think it's Ron Simmons, Florida State. Reggie Herring is a dude. So I would play 4 years in Buffalo, get traded to Houston. Guess who picks me up? Reggie Herring. And he's like, oh, you look all right. He's sizing me up. I'm like, man, who is this dude, right? Man, my man, Reggie Herring, told Robert Jones, who came in, and signed with us from Dallas, and was, at the end of his career, couldn't pick him up and put him down. It happens to everybody. It happened to me. He was complaining to Reggie while he wasn't playing. He's like, look, man, don't get mad at me. You get mad at genetics. You can't run no more. He was gone. Reggie didn't pull any punches. He challenged. He brought the best out of me. He never, I wouldn't say he never did it to where I didn't feel comfortable, but it was always like, yeah, you did good, but And here's an example of a Reggie, and this is the type of relationship we had. We played the New England Patriots the year that they beat the Panthers. The tackles that they have on ESPN, I think I might have had like 20 and Sharper had 18 or vice versa. But after watching tape, I had like 28 and Sharper had like 22. I mean, we got busy, right? And it was probably, it was a game where you were quote unquote in the zone, but we were just efficient that game. And it was set, we had the Patriots game plan was to make us make plays, and we made them. That's, we answered the bell. There was one play, and I'll never forget this. It was a screen pass to Kevin Falk. There's two guys coming out on me, right? There's no way around it. I got to either split them or try to shake one and make a play. And my job was to essentially split them, right? So in a matter of seconds, you're thinking like eighth. Okay, I got to split them. Okay, do I attack it or do I wait? Hopefully something happens. So I tried to fake. I faked like I was going to contain the play. You know what I mean?
Fake outside.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, let me take that back. I went to go split him and then jumped out. I knew he was going outside. They had two guys out there. He ain't gonna run back in there.
That's where the help is.
Right. So I did it, but then like as I tried to kind of like, I guess, pirouette or spin out of it, I got knocked over. Right. But I still kind of made the tackle, like tripped him up. So Reggie, you get your grade sheet, and we played like 100 plays. So things like, a receipt from like going to Sam's Club or something. So it was like, Jay Foreman, good job, put your, he used to have a factor rating, big play rating, winning play, all this thing, then your stats, right? So he did all that, and he put it like in a box on my, wrote on it. And then he put like play 88. Right? I'll never forget. It was play 80. I'll never forget it. Play 88. Screen pass. You didn't split. I never forgot this. I literally wanted to punch him in his face. And I think he gave it to me and was out. He put play 88. Screen pass. You didn't split the lineman, and you looked like you were soft. And he put SOFT, soft, 3 exclamation points with a smiley face.
Oh no.
So, I was heated. I don't think I talked to him all week. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talked to him all week. Like once we got back on Wednesday, I ain't talked to him because I'm hot internally, fuming. But he's trying to talk to me more, right? Because he knew I was going to be on point after that, right? So we're playing in Atlanta Falcons, and so there's a thing like, so if I have the running back and he blocks the outside linebacker actually has to take him. Then I can blitz and hit the quarterback. So I've been just destroying quarterbacks. I think I hit like Roethlisberger. I annihilated my man Byron Leftwich. I thought I killed. He rose up like the Undertaker, because I know I hit him hard. This is when you could hit with the underneath his chin, and I looked back and he was like crime scene, just like laid out,
chalk outline and everything.
And then so I was like, yeah, I got him. Like, yeah, he's out the game. And then you look back and he rose up like Undertaker, right? So I'd kind of been making money.
Damn, gotta get him again.
Right, and then made a couple plays and got a sack or something. So Reggie was, we're playing Atlanta. First of all, Michael Vick's coming back. That's all I'm worried about, right? Because this dude he fast, and so he's like, "Hey, man, you got to be careful." Or Vic Fangio says you're. It's called adding. He's like, "You're adding to the blitz too quick." Man, whatever. I got this. I'm 6-7 years in the league. I'm Pro Bowl alternate. I'm Jay Foreman. It ain't gonna happen to me. Plus, it was like T.J. Duckett was the running back. Man, I could catch him. I could run there and catch him. You know what I mean? Well, and so what happened was, and Atlanta knew it. So what happened was they motioned the running back over there. So that means I had the tight end. And then tight end moved off the ball. So essentially like he was a fullback. It was Algie Crumpler. So if you ever remember Algie Crumpler, he had some serious junk in the trunk, but once he got moving, he could roll, right?
Moving, yep.
So I kind of like, all right, I'm going to get real slick with it, dude. I'm going to fake like I'm going in motion. Knew he was going to block outside. I just saw him look outside and I was gone. Well, then you know it is. Once you get free reign to the quarterback, that ain't happening. Screen pass.
Oh no.
Austin.
Jay.
Yo.
They dialed it up on you.
So we finally tackled him. Aaron Glenn tackled him. And he mad because he don't like to tackle nobody. And Reggie that took the headset off, face is red, spit everywhere. I'm like, and everybody knew it was my guy. Because he yelling like, Jay Foreman, I told you. I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of prided myself on not making mistakes, right? And that was a huge mistake.
The one time he gambled.
So we did stop him, right? Running off the field. So say Reggie's on we did safe punt. So say you're running off at I think the coach's box is 20-25. I run all the way to the 50 to where the defense is. So kind of like you couldn't see me, right? Got water, right? And I'm already on edge. And he comes over and he's like, I told you about that screen pass, and I'd had a knee issue before, a couple weeks before, that I was struggling with and didn't tell him about. He's like, so he was and then plus the whole thing with New England. So we had already it'd been boiling to this point. So he went back and forth. He's like, you see this? And he put it right in my face. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. My bad. This and this. He's like, well, get it then. He's like, well, get it then, right? He kept saying, get it then. He's like, I got it. And then I was like, drop the water on my Gatorade. I was like, I got it. So as he's walking away from me, he said it one more time. And I don't know what he said. He might have said, the F word or something. And that just set it off. Austin, like that.
There's 212 degrees right there.
I was 110, just like that. I jumped up off of that bench. He knew I was coming. We was nose to nose. He took it off, and I was like, F you. He was like, F you. I was like, well, let's do it then. He was like, let's go. I was like, man, I will kick your you-know-what right here. He was like, I ain't going nowhere. I was like, let's go then, right? So by that time, Dom Capers comes over, right? Kylie Wong, they separate us, and I'm like, F you, this, and this. Reggie's like, F me. He's like, do your job. I said, I am doing my job, right? And then I said, my job is to kick your know-what, right? Right? I'm just way out of control, right? It's 20 to 25 seconds, but it seems like a
eternity.
Movie. Yeah. Break it up. Kylie's like, you all right, man? I ain't never seen you like that. You all right? You all right? I was like, yeah, I'm cool. He's like, but I like it though, right? So we start laughing. So then we're about to go back in the game, right? So the fans are seeing it, right? Reggie comes over and he's like, you still mad at me? You still mad at me about New England? And I looked at him and I'm like, yeah. He's like, but I love you though. Went out, and then we've been thick as thieves ever since. It would have never got to the point that we threw hands. It's too competitive. He's used to play linebacker. Mm-hmm. I think at the point that he coached me, he might have still been an all-time leading tackler at Florida State. So he was a dude. He brought the best out of me, and we're two competitive dudes. He was pulling for me, and we was at it, dude. No, and when I say, hey, two bulls lining up, and I wasn't backing down, and neither was he, and we were gonna go. And I love that dude. I love Reggie Herring. But so as far as Travis, so it happens. You know what I mean? So I guess I did say, we chest bumped or whatever. It was funny. Now I look back at it, it was funny, but I was out of control at that point. And
out of the pockets that your football pants don't have.
Yes, but I'm telling you, once he said, I forget, like, do your job, and then he just yelled out the F word, that was it. Because I was already at the max. And then he hit me with, I call it the drive-by. Hit me with the the parting shot. Uh-huh. And I was always like, I guess I wanted to get the last deal. It was on. So Travis Kelce wasn't so bad. He ended up winning. I think we might have even beat Atlanta. So we didn't win no Super Bowl, but it was definitely worth it. And me and Reggie were great friends. And obviously he's a great coach. So, and he won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. Mm-hmm. Big ups to him. So, we'll take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this Tuesday. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we have some really big savings for you right now. Our new crossover sale is underway. New Terrains, Equinoxes, and Trailblazers starting at $23,290. That's right, $23,290. Also, we've continued our huge Sierra and Silverado truck sale with over $10,000 off new pickups. You heard right, over $10,000 off list. Coppell truly has a small town feel with big city deals. We're right down 144th Street or at CoppellCars.com. Stock numbers G260980 and C119824.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Acres is bringing you the nation's largest indoor display of John Deere equipment and technology. Acres 2024 Ag and Turf Expo showcases everything from tillage and planting to application and harvest. We'll also offer the latest industry insights from ag professionals across the state. Join us at the Sandhills Global Event Center March 6th and 7th or Fauner Park March 21st and 22nd. Go to acres.com/expo24 for a complete schedule of speakers and activities.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Old school, putting a bow on this, 1040 O Street. We are going to turn it over to the Lincoln Stars. And then at 7:30, the Gretna Dragons are making the trek down 80, or actually the priority here. They are taking on the Lincoln East Spartans. Me and Nick Sainert will be on the call. Gretna Dragons are a older team, very good, and well coached, and Lincoln East is trying to get their footing. So be excited. Hopefully everybody continues to listen to me and Nick. We're gonna have a good time, and hopefully we see some good basketball. But thanks for the text line today. Travis Kelce isn't so bad for bumping Andy Reid. Everything else you can get mad at him at. But anyways, for Austin Norman, I'm Jay Foreman. We are old school. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, southwest Iowa, and northern Kansas. Find out how we